What's going on, guys? Alex back here with Career Launch Academy. And today I want to welcome you guys to the course that could completely change the way you approach your career. Today, we are going to be diving deep into the most important networking skill you need to master so that you will never have to apply to a job again. Networking is the secret sauce to unlocking opportunities, creating strong professional relationships, and building a career. Creating strong professional relationships and building a career where jobs come down to you and fall into your lap instead of, applying for your jobs the other way around. By the end of this course, you're going to have the tools to be very successful and build an influential network. You're going to be able to leverage relationships and position yourself as the go-to professional in your career. So let's get started. So first, today, guys, I want to focus on shifting your mindset from job seeker to value provider. So the first key to networking success is shifting your mindset. So don't think of networking as just meeting people to ask for favors. That is the worst thing you can do. Instead, focus on offering value. What value can you bring to that interaction? Adapt the giver mentality. Adapting the giver mentality works so well in all areas in your life, but your career, having this approach with networking and having that mindset for helping others is so important. This makes people want to work with you and recommend you. Offer solutions. We've been saying it over and over again. What solutions and how are you going to be able to solve these companies' problems? Instead of asking for opportunities, offer solutions to these problems. Identify pain points in companies or industries and position yourself as the expert who can solve these problems. So, I want to get into our first action step of this course. I want you guys to write down 3 ways that you can add value to somebody in your network today. This could be a piece of advice, a connection, or somebody else, or a helpful resource. The power of genuine connections. So, people, colleagues, they want to work with you because they like you and they trust you. That's the bottom line. Your goal in networking is to build genuine, long lasting relationships. So, you need to be authentic. Don't network with an agenda. That is terrible, terrible. If you have an agenda, people could smell it right off of you. Show real interest in the person that you're talking to. Try to understand them as a person other than just their job or their career, or what you can get out of them. Ask about their career, challenges that they're facing, what excites them about their work, what are they doing? Learn about what they're doing. Be genuinely curious. Deepen your relationships. Don't just connect and forget. Follow up regularly with people that you meet. And I would always, share interesting articles or insights that you might find that could be very helpful in the industry that person is working in. And I recommend always going beyond surface level connections. Ask about personal stories, hobbies, experience, and this is going to ultimately help build trust. Obviously, keep it professional, don't get too personal. But this is a great tactic for building long lasting relationships. So I encourage you guys all to find 3 people in your network that you can catch up with, have a coffee, and get to know them and try to bring value to them. Ask yourself, how can I bring value to this person? Cole is a great, great people person. And you guys should all connect with him and reach out to him personally on some of the strategies that he uses to connect people together, because it is very, very important, and it ultimately is going to build very successful relationships that are going to last forever. So reach out to Cole for some strategies. He's the expert in this. The art of targeting networking. Targeting networking, effective networking is not just about casting a wide net. It's about being strategic and connecting with the right people. Yes, there is wrong people and there is right people to connect with in your career. You got to figure out who is the right people and who is the wrong people. I recommend you figure out who they both are. You should have a bucket of people for both of the sides of the spectrum, because that's very important so you know who to avoid. Who are the people in your industry that you should not be reaching out to? Identify those key influencers. We've talked about this. Focus on the people who are the decision makers, who hold all the power, thought leaders, well connected people in your industry. These are the people that are going to create opportunities for you. Once again, we need to build our network map. So start by listing out who you already know in your industry. You know people in your industry. If you've been in your career for multiple years, a decade, look for those people that you're connected with and see, what doors that they potentially might be able to open for you. Don't forget about the gatekeepers. That is one thing, the only thing, if you guys take one thing from this whole course, I want you to remember this. Do not forget about the gatekeepers. Sometimes it is not just, the CEO, CFO, that founder of the company that you need to connect with, but their assistant, HR, a trusted advisor, somebody that is kind of, behind the scenes. These people can be just as valuable as getting into the door. Building relationships with those people, you should definitely not shy away from, because at the end of the day, those decision makers are usually the people that are going to help you get in front of the right people. So understanding the decision maker, understanding the gatekeeper, so important. I want you guys to create a list of 10 people in your target industry. I want you guys to research them on LinkedIn, and I want you to make a plan with them and make a plan to connect with them and learn from them and understand, how you could ultimately bring value to them. Cold networking like a pro, how to reach out. Sometimes you've made the first move and you're connecting with people you just don't know. And that could be very intimidating. I know for me, when I first started my journey, I was scared, shitless. I didn't know, how I was going to be able to reach out to somebody I've never even interviewed or talked to. And this wasn't even on the phone. This was just messaging. And I think it comes down to our mindset. You have to have the right mindset. You got to be afraid to put yourself out there. You can't be afraid to put yourself out there, because it's one of the most important tools that's going to level up your professional circle. So craft personalized messages. So when you're sending a message on LinkedIn or email, don't use generic templates, because they will know. They will know it's scripted. They will know you use ChatGPT. Make it very, very personalized. Reference something specific about their work, a recent achievement, mutual connection, whatever that is. And here's some examples right here. We're going to attach some more for you guys, but here's one right here. Hi, name. So, hi, Alex. I've been following your work at Company X, and I'm really impressed by your recent project. So you can, say project, article, etc. This is where your research comes in right here. So do your research. This is where you come in. I was impressed by your recent project, article. I'd love to connect and learn about your experiences in X industry. So in the telecommunications industry, construction industry. So that's very important. You're showing engagement. You did your research. Be brief. So you want to be crisp. You don't want to, beat around the bush. You want to be polite. Keep your messages short, to the point. People are busy. They don't have time to read long messages. I can't stand it when I get cold emails, cold DMs on LinkedIn, and they're paragraphs and paragraphs of all this mumble jumble about, there's $1 million special product that's going to skyrocket everything and be all this widget, all this stuff. It takes too much time to read. Nobody wants to do it. Respect people's time and have a clear and crisp message for your outreach. So let's focus this week, on reaching out to 5 new people on LinkedIn. Let's use some personalized messages. And I recommend, I'm going to put in here follow-up connections that don't respond after 7 to 10 days. I think you could even follow up with them quicker. I think between, every 3 days, you could do, a follow-up sequence. Cole, also very good at that. He would love to help you with your sequence and when to follow up when you're outreaching, what's the appropriate time. We also have some tools that we can recommend to you guys on building out sequences for your LinkedIn on cold messaging, warm messaging. So reach out to Cole personally for more information on that. But I want to get into now leveraging your LinkedIn like a networking ninja. We all need to picture ourselves as networking ninjas. That's what we are. So let's focus on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is your most powerful networking tool. As we all know, I personally love LinkedIn. you guys should too. Here's how to maximize LinkedIn and your potential using this platform. We've talked about it multiple times. We need to attract the right people. How is our profile going to attract the right people? Well, we have to have a catchy headline. So we've talked about this before, but we got to make sure what our industry is in. What are we trying to get on our LinkedIn? So if you go to my LinkedIn, you could tell I'm a IT tech professional. I work in tech, project management. You can see that right away. Love career development. I work in the career development space as well. So you can see that right away within 5 seconds. So that is like my brand, that you can tell that those people in my industry are going to be more attracted to that header and that profile at the top. So figure out what is going to be most appealing to, your target audience. And you have to niche down. You're not going to, it's hard to keep it very generic, especially if you're applying and you're looking for jobs. But this is going to help you because you're already going to look like a thought out leader in your industry. You're going to look like a professional in your industry. So let's say you have 2 years of experience, as a sales representative. Okay. But you have a professional LinkedIn profile. It looks like you've been in sales for years, 5-10 years. That's going to help you go a lot farther than looking like the junior sales rep that's only been in the industry 1 or 2 years. So position yourself as an expert in your field. That is one of the biggest career advices I can give you in terms of leveling up. And I also recommend, engage with other people's content. So important. Don't just connect with people, engage with their posts, comment on their posts. When you're commenting on their posts, tag them. Make sure that when you tag them, they're going to probably respond. They're going to get notified. So like their post, tag their post, share and post it on your personal LinkedIn to engage your personal audience. You want to collaborate with as many audiences as you can. That's going to bring more people, bring more eyeballs to your LinkedIn. Also, too, I recommend joining LinkedIn groups. So you want to find groups in your industry, and you also want to join different discussions throughout LinkedIn groups. There's a ton of different ways you can meet people throughout LinkedIn groups, and you can also show off, just your expertise and where you're the best at. So I want to focus on this week. I want each of you guys to post or comment on 3 different LinkedIn articles related to your industry. I want you to focus on adding valuable information or insights and just starting a conversation. Next, I want to get into how to ask referrals without being pushy. So referrals are one of the most effective ways to land job opportunities without having to apply. So here is how you start asking for referrals that will ultimately help you get your dream job. Number one is you want to build trust first. So people will also refer you if they trust you. Spend time cultivating relationships before asking for anything. So you got to be specific. When asking for a referral, make it easy for the other person. Mention specific companies or roles you're targeting. Don't just say, hey, nice to connect with you. I'm asking for a referral in your company. That is the most generic, actually disrespectful thing you could say is just asking for a referral. Be specific. Okay, do your research, figure out what you're asking for, because like I said earlier, you don't want to waste people's time. A lot of hiring managers have had a lot of people reach out to them, and a lot of their inboxes are full. So be respectful. Also, too, offer to help in return. So always be willing to reciprocate when asking for favors. Offering to help in the future makes more people willing to assist you. So if you have somebody in your connection that might be related to them, ask, just say you could provide them value some way in the future. It's very helpful. It goes a long way. So let's this week focus on 3 people in your network who could provide referrals to you, and I want you to reach out to them with specific questions, but I also want you to focus on building a relationship. Be careful because you're walking a fine line. You don't want to be too pushy, but you also too want to build relationships and get as much intel within that company. Stay top of mind within your network. So the key to never applying for a job again is to stay top of mind with your network. This goes back to keeping your warm outreach, your warm connections hot. You never want to miss an opportunity. You always want to be the first person that they think of when a job opening or opportunity arises. That's why regular follow-ups is so important. Every few months, check in with your network, go through your old messages, go through your connections, understand who's in your database, who are you connected with, share updates on your projects, ask them what they're doing. This keeps the relationship alive. Share wins and milestones. Don't be afraid to share your success. A new project, promotion, achievement. Let your network know what's going on in your personal and your professional life, and then just be consistent with value. I always say, drive with value first. Always look to provide value to your network because it's going to come back to you. So let's continue this week to just continue to follow up, have a follow-up plan every week. Reach out to a few people in your network, check in, see how they're doing, and then share some valuable insights with them. Final networking hacks for career growth. So I just want to touch again on truly mastering networking and never having to apply for a job again. So here are some final tips and hacks that are ultimately going to help you never have to apply to a traditional job again. So I recommend host your own networking events, whether that's virtual or in person. Organize events, positions, be a connector, be an authority in your industry. Look like an expert. Host it's easy. Get together a group on LinkedIn or Facebook groups. There's a lot of professional groups out there. Connect people together. That's going to be a great way to ultimately provide value to yourself and other people. Volunteer, speak in industry events. I personally am very involved in a young entrepreneurs group. Cole is also very involved. We do a lot of different events there and engagements. So that's a great way to meet, influential people. Build credibility within your field. So find people in your industry, find people that are local in your area. We're local, or we're in Tampa, Florida. We have a pretty big network here. But figure out what city you are. Maybe you're in a suburb and you don't have access to a big city, but that shouldn't stop you. Reach out to Cole and I, and we could definitely help you get creative and how to find industry events in your area where you can meet up with other people. And then ultimately, invest in mentorship. That's so important. Having a mentor, building relationships with people, whether that's a 10, 15-minute coffee, virtual coffee, or, you're going to do a mentorship program and go through a whole course with them. Figure out what that looks like, but have some mentors, have some people in your life that are way ahead of you, that are where you want to be. We have a very, very strong network. His name is Rick, and he's a great asset to us. He's light years ahead of us in business and in life. And Cole and I look to him for lots of things. So have somebody in your life who can help you get to where you want to be. Here's our final, last action step I want you guys to focus on this week. Find one industry event or opportunity and volunteer to speak at, or just volunteer, whether that's cleaning up, tearing down, volunteer to be there. That's going to help start building your visibility in your field. And if you guys find an event, put it in the chat. We'd love to see more events. Love to see where you guys are at. We'd love to help you, give you any insights on how to prepare going to that event. So to wrap it up, networking is the key to long career success. It is the most important thing. And at the end of the day, like we talked about in Job Hacking 101, we want to ultimately hack the system. So if we do not have to apply for a job, that is our goal. We do not want to apply for a job. We want to build such a strong brand that jobs and opportunities are just going to fall into our lap. We're going to have a system, a machine of opportunities for the rest of our career. This is possible. It is possible. It's happened for me. I haven't applied for a job in 5 years. I've seen so many other people too that have just followed these steps, and it has paid dividends for them. So your mission now is to go out, apply these strategies, start building your unstoppable network that's going to pay dividends for years to come. And like always, with consistent effort, being authentic, and building strong relationships, you're going to find that you will never have to apply for a job again. So good luck, and let's get hacking. We'll see you guys.